in a half hour when I'm done talking. If you didn't see the video I made today, it was sort of a parody mocking the High Republic. They're getting their asses kicked and they're pissed. Now, the rumor is they want to understand why Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni didn't tell them about Luke showing up and The Mandalorian. And I'm going to explain why. This is my theory, but I think I'm right. They know they're retconning. They know they're going into a multiverse. They know everything that they put together, in their shitty sequel trilogy, is going to go in an alternate universe. I'm pretty sure about that. Here's why I think that. I think I talked about this before, but I want to go a little bit deeper. When Ezra saved Ahsoka in World Between Worlds in Rebels season 2, I can't remember what season, but the episode World Between Worlds, and she's the one that tells Mando, take the child to Tython, put him on the Seeing Stone, la la la. Okay. If she died, Mando never would have been able to do it. Mando would have ended up losing the baby to the Imperials, and, whatever's left of Palpatine starts a Snoke farm. I think it's very interesting. It's a theory that Lore Master put out there, and it's a theory that I'm sort of kind of cultivating right now, because Ahsoka being alive changes everything. Okay, you got to depend on Ahsoka being dead and Mando not knowing where to go and how to contact a Jedi and wandering around the universe looking for Luke. But with Ahsoka being alive, there's that. And then Luke shows up. And here's another thing. Luke shows up 6 years before he's supposed to take Daddy Butcher in as his Padawan. Now he has a Padawan, Grogu. Okay. They're doing different things here. They're not following the so-called fake canon. A lot of people don't want to hear about it. I saw that our good friend Ichibaka was having a debate with a certain shill Star Wars channel that, as usual, is trying to play both sides against the middle. They've caused me trouble in the past, and Itchy got blocked. Okay. Hey, Birdie. It's just fascinating to me in some ways that this is all going on. So I think what the story group, what Kennedy's allies at Lucasfilm, and if Hidalgo's gone, she's isolated now. She really doesn't have anybody to fall back on. A lot of people with no position yelling and screaming. But they're upset because they see they're definitely ditching that. If you go back to Doomcock's video yesterday, that they're rehabilitating everybody, including Han. He did mention Ben Solo, but there's a chance that he's not probably going to be the kid. I know I've heard rumblings from several different sources now that the twins are coming back, Jaina and Jason, and hopefully they'll bring back Anakin too. I love that character. And I really think that that is a thing that has to happen. I don't really see anybody being excited for Ben Solo. Well, I mean, why would Han and Leia name their kid that? I want y'all to break up into groups and come up with an idea. Why would they do that? It just, the name is stupid. The name is like, it's not original. It's not something that there's a harken back to Ben Kenobi, and Leia didn't know Ben Kenobi. Han had only known him for a short time and thought he was a kook. I mean, again, that name goes with Luke, if you know what I mean. And really, when you look at how Leia kind of evolved as a character in the EU, going from I don't want anything to do with my father, my biological father, to embracing who Anakin was and kind of accepting him and naming their third child Anakin, that's a big deal. And that's something that I really think Filoni and Favreau could go with and run with. And I wish I could tell them that face to face. Okay, now I know. Well, we got Jason Sandula. So, so, and, all right, yeah, and you're right, Takari. I mean, this is a big freaking deal. I mean, watching all this happen, and I know that there's a civil war going on. I know. Last night, one of the bigger channels, run by a person that is not one of my favorite people, had a bunch of people that I do like on, and he's very arrogant and basically was shitting all over this. He doesn't know what's going on. It's not like he has Doomcock's contacts. He doesn't have Midnight's Edge contacts. He doesn't have Clownfish TV's contacts. He doesn't have my contacts. And I really, really find it very sad in a way that somebody can't be hopeful. All right. My channel isn't big, but you're going to get the honest truth. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. I was wrong about Tross. Okay, but I also know that there were some things I was right about that they changed because Kennedy was like, no, no. I mean, she was the one that wanted a fucking kiss. And E.K. Johnson's like, it's a kiss of gratitude. And all the railers went, you know. But, time has come for the bad attitudes to just stop. Okay? I really don't understand how, on one hand, you can be a fan and then hope it fails. I really don't understand that. And in lots of ways, there are lots of people that are like that. You know, and again, this guy has problems with people, and he needs to reach out if he wants to resolve them. I'm not going to reach out to him. He can find me. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about, you tell him to come find me. All right, I'm everywhere right now. I just opened up a Minds account, and I can't figure out how to run it. It's really weird. Gab is really hard to run. MeWe is a borehole. I mean, it doesn't. I look at it and it's like it's really not like Facebook. I mean, but not a lot of my friends are posting there either. I've had my Facebook page since 2009. So, and I have well over 4,000 people that I follow and talk to. Parler will be back. Parler is also an echo chamber. Okay. I don't like echo chambers either. There has to be a free flow of discussion and information, or you're going to have me do this. Falling asleep. And I really don't think constantly talking about politics is good for people. All right? I really, really don't. Anyway, but back to what we're talking about. When you've got people like Doomcock, oh, I don't miss it either. And oh, by the way, when some idiot says something, all you got to do is look them up on your browser, and you can see what they said. You don't need a Twitter account. Twitter account is basically if you want to reply to them. All right. I see Twitter imploding. Okay, I see Twitter not being around within a year, and I've said that before. I really because it's untenable. People are getting sick of it. I mean, Christ Almighty, big lefty Bryan Cranston's getting shit on because he went against cancel culture. You know, I mean, they're out of control and they need to be put back in their box. Anyway, and I really think getting rid of Twitter as a thing needs to go away, and that would go a long way to helping. All right, then they'd have to either go back to Tumblr, which nobody cares about, or find something else. And if they went to a place like Parler comes back, they show up on Parler, it's a whole new ballgame because people can just tell them to F off and block them. I mean, you can't get people canceled on Parler. It's not what it's about. But anyway, I really get upset with people, if they don't have the contacts and they haven't seen the evidence firsthand, people attacking and just no, it's not happening. Can't think Kennedy's still in charge of what? You know what a figurehead is? You oaf. All right. In charge of what? Sure, they're trying to get Gina Carano fired. Jon Favreau is protecting her. Jon Favreau is standing up for her. Disney doesn't want to get rid of one of their biggest sellers for The Mandalorian, and it's Gina Carano. She's the most sought after actress in Hollywood right now. Okay? Kind of hard to cancel somebody that everybody wants to see on the big screen or the small screen, whatever. But again, I see these people losing power in lots of different places, but we have to have a come to Jesus moment, I think. With this, is she gone? Yeah, Bertie, they are. I have a pretty good handle on what's going on there, and I've said this before. I said this on my live stream on Facebook today. It's the only thing I can do on Facebook right now. Live stream. That's it. It is not that the CEO is going to lose money, because he is not. It is the fact the investors and the stockholders are losing money. So when you see Facebook lose $40 billion, when you see Google lose $40 billion, when you see Amazon lose $40 billion, when you see Twitter, which you could bought that stock before this happened for $1.75 and a ham sandwich. When you see them drop $5 billion, the CEOs aren't taking it in the ass. It's the stockholders. It's the board. Okay? CEOs are responsible to the board and the stockholders. Okay? When they don't do their job, when they're incompetent, Jack, Zuckerberg, then the stockholders get pissed. Then changes happen. Okay? We'll see what happens. But I do think that either Dorsey's going to be gone, or he'll leave of his own accord, or Twitter just goes away. If I was an investor in Twitter, I'd be really pissed off right now. Really pissed off. The only reason why a lot of people were on Twitter was Donald Trump. Think about it. Think about the money Trump tweeting gave Twitter. Okay, see where I'm going with this? Money talks, bullshit walks. All right? And right now, investors, I mean, Dorsey almost got replaced by a Republican that's on the board of Twitter. Now, the guy's a never Trumper, but he can't be happy with his portfolio right now. With his investment, would you be? I wouldn't be. But anyway, going back to the rumors about Kennedy being gone and all the rest of this stuff, I can't take somebody who negatively attacks everybody who's arrogant very seriously. I can't take somebody who can't listen to an opposite opinion based on stuff, knowledge that they have that's in their hands, email, text, whatever, phone conversations. I can't take somebody who looks at that and poo poos it. But I also think, and I've said this before, that there's a real fear that if Disney fixes Star Wars, people like it and it's good, it's what we want, that a lot of channels will start to shrink and go away, and their revenue stream is gone. And I think, like always, that's the problem. And it's too bad. I don't make money on this channel. I don't want to. It's about talking about the culture. It's about fixing what's broken. And I don't understand the attitude. Why do you not want this to be fixed? You know, and the excuse is, yeah, I do, but no, there's no but. Doomcock has been right about a lot of things. You know, Walt Disney World Pro has been right about half of the things he talks about, and some of the stuff he has been right about. It wasn't that he wasn't right. It was about the fact that what happened wasn't the way he described it, if you know what I mean. You know, Midnight's Edge, those guys are very serious. Very serious. Tom and Andre, my brother Norwegian, they're very serious guys. And they don't just put stuff out there. I mean, and they check things out. They do, they check stuff out. And it's very interesting to me that, you know, this person can't sit back and go, well, maybe this time something good is happening. I mean, something good has to happen. Either that or Star Wars goes away, and I don't want to live in a world where I can't, you know, turn on Mandalorian or Ahsoka or Rangers of the New Republic or whatever. Okay? I don't think anybody should want to, all right? But I really think making a living on the bad is a bad way to live. But it also says a lot about people, okay? It says a lot about people, and it's sad. You know, we have them like I've said, we have people like that on the Phantom Menace side. There are people that I don't really truck with. I want to know what's going on. I think Disney should be very transparent. I think they should be transparent about their stock price. It's inflated. Who got fired, who got hired, what they're really doing about fixing Star Wars, where the MCU is going, and all the rest of the stuff, because I think the fans and shareholders have a right to know, especially people with the money stake in the company. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. But you know, we have to temper all this with a wait and see attitude too. And like I said, you can sit there and be a naysayer and be an arrogant jackass about it. But when you've got too much out there from several different sources, when you've got circumstantial evidence that should be looked into, when it's in your face, some of it, you can't accept it, or you can't go, maybe I should go look into this. There's something wrong with you. All right, and again, it's probably revenue stream. It's probably a real fear of something good happening. And there are people out there that would rather be miserable, and I know that. I have them in my family. That's no way to live. That's no way to be. That's no way to live. So, anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Justine Ireland, because she's, you know, She basically chain blocked everybody. Went off on an anti-white screed, and she probably still is. I could probably just hit, you know, go on DuckDuckGo, go to Twitter and see what she's doing. Because you can't chain block on DuckDuckGo. It doesn't matter. They're getting, High Republic is getting their asses kicked. All right, it really is. It's not a success. It's not anything. And I'm laughing about it. I mean, I'm like, you know, in her latest iteration in her bio is drowning in indescribable emptiness. What? I mean, this woman very confidently says what inspires her is her rage. That's not art talking. That's not an artist. That's not a writer talking. That's a nutbag. And I assume after looking through Claudia Gray's tweets, the same thing for her too. Rage inspires her. Rage is what sets her off. Gets her jollies. Okay, why? Well, she never intended to ever be a writer. Never intended to sit down and write a story that everybody could read and have and learn from. She wanted to. These two women at least, and Daniel Jose Older, who's an anti-white racist, and a dwarf. He they're not there because they love Star Wars. They're there to be activists, and they're getting their asses kicked. It's remarkable that they're shocked, and it's hilarious that they're pissed off because Favreau and Filoni never told them that, hey, Luke is coming back. Why would you tell them? Because guess what? They would tell everybody else, and they would ruin the surprise. All right, and let me say something else. If they'd done the sequel trilogy right, Heir to the Empire, a flavor of that, having Luke show up to take Grogu wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be Luke. Okay, cool. There he is. Hi, Luke. But because of what they did to him, it's going to be a big goddamn deal. Now, if Han and Chewie and Leia show up in the Book of Boba Fett, I am going to be weeping. All right, I am going to absolutely lose it, and that's the thing we need to have. That's the thing that we need to have going on. We need to have emotional contact with the franchise again, and to see these characters rehabbed. It's stunning to me that these people could be so upset seeing it. I mean, Mark Hamill is one of them. Doesn't he? I mean, it's really funny when you look at liberals in Hollywood. It doesn't matter who they are. That shithead who plays Captain America. I don't know what his name is. Forgot it. That's how impressed I am with him. Mark Hamill and others bitching about Donald Trump, playing characters that their side wants to cancel because they're straight white males. My friend Lee Scott brought this up, kind of a screed at Mark. They don't like you either. They don't like you either. Okay? You got to stop and think about what you're saying. And now they're going after Cranston because he basically did call him out for it. It's going to take the older ones to tell him to knock it off. I think the only star in Hollywood, besides, the only star, the true movie star in Hollywood, one of the only ones remaining, who could who could criticize cancel culture and they wouldn't be able to say anything is Harrison Ford. All right. I imagine him being in the Last Jedi and Ryan Johnson telling him Han has to do something really undignifying. Ryan Johnson would have been fired that afternoon. I mean, that's the power Ford wields. And, you know, Carey couldn't get the guy fired. Hamill couldn't. Harrison could. Okay, that's a big deal. That's how big a deal he is. And I think it would take someone like that because he's not a conservative. He's not one of us. But I'm going to tell you something about liberals and left-wing fascists. I've talked about Mills' brother before. He was one of the original hippies, a year younger than Ford. My brother died in 2006. He got real sick, and he had diabetes, really bad, and he passed away. And I mean, he and I, there I was working for Dick Armey, conservative staffer in a conservative office, libertarian office, talking with the Democrat and having a conversation where we agreed on everything. How's that one? How do you like that? Those are the old liberals. Those are the old Democrats. What we got now are a bunch of left-wing fascists, okay, running around. And what I see, like Mark Hamill virtue signaling, he's doing it for parts. He thinks that they're the ones running Hollywood. And I don't really think they are anymore. But that's just me. I mean, I don't, I'm like, but anyway, we'll have to see. I'm not shocked that these fascists are trying to get Gina Carano fired. Well, the thing about them is that they won't stop until I believe that there's a beatdown. You know, and I'm not saying go out there and start a fight with them. But there are plenty of people who are pissed off right now who are more than willing to join the battle. And it's not going to go well for Antifa and the left. It's not. Too many of these guys that have been disenfranchised, who followed Trump, who felt like they were finally being heard, are veterans, are cops, for crying out loud, are people who are very, very knowledgeable in stuff. And these Antifa idiots, they don't, I mean, they're marching down the street in New York City in riot gear. And, so yeah, it's, I really think they're going to implode on themselves. I honestly think that. I think the GOP is too. And the reason simply is this. There's a GOP that doesn't want to change, that thinks now they can get back to normal and they can't. And it'll never be the same. Hey, Pocket. It's just, but my attitude is just let them drown in indescribable despair. Oh boy, there's different ways to protest. There are different ways to protest. Dude, you don't do that, but, this is kind of a Pocket, this is kind of a discussion that's gone all over the place. It's kind of wagging my finger at certain individuals at bigger channels that are very arrogant, who they're either taking a different angle to be edgy, or they're just being jerks. People I really don't understand. I don't I don't get it. You know, do I when they attack, basically Doomcock's sources, Clownfish TV sources, Midnight's Edge sources, and it's like, stop it. Stop it. And it could also be they're not being told this stuff themselves and they're jealous. All right, but I'm telling you one thing: I wouldn't tell them anything if I was working at Lucasfilm or knew the whole story. I wouldn't tell them a damn thing. Why? 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 When a person is bent on seeing the destruction of something that's precious to millions and millions of people because they didn't get what they wanted, I can't deal with people like that. The perfect is the enemy of the good. Okay, and that is a rule you should all run with. You can't, you're not going to get everything you want, especially in this day and age. As long as you can get as good as, maybe even better. Okay, and the idea that there isn't a Lucasfilm Civil War and they're using the failure of the High Republic as their proof. Where in the world would you get the logic to come up with that? Where? You know, the High Republic is a failure. They're selling it to Scholastic Books. That's the only place they're not making any money on it. I'm sure Disney's doing this. I mean, those contracts for those authors, have to be respected. The idea that they're ever going to make a trilogy or films out of these stories is ludicrous. They're not selling them. Okay, so when people, knee-jerk reaction, oh my God, and Ryan Johnson's gonna make it. Where did you hear that? Speculate, fine, but I try to speculate based on evidence, circumstantial or direct, and I see nothing that says these will. I mean, the buzz is already worn off. People are laughing at it now. Okay, so don't tell me about them turning the High Republic into a bunch of films or something like that. They're not going to do that. They'd be fucking stupid to do that. Okay, why? I mean, here's another thing. When you look at where Disney's spending money on Star Wars, it's all with Filoni and Favreau, not with Kennedy, with Filoni and Favreau. She's got enough to play with, but that's it. That's it. Think about it. All right? You still think she's running Lucasfilm? You do? You ever, again, like I said, do you ever hear the word figurehead? Hey, James. There's a lot of flux going on, and Disney's in a financial cul-de-sac that they can't really get out of. There's in such debt. It's scary. We'll just see. I mean, we'll just see what happens. But nothing. Let me explain something. It is not what someone says that shows what's really going on. Yeah, I do too. Thanks for that one. Yeah, it's jealousy. It is that. It is what a person does. It is what a company does. It is where it's all headed. And when you look at where Disney budgeted money for their streaming shows, the Star Wars stuff, it's all going to Favreau and Filoni. So if you're trying to tell me that Kennedy is still in charge, your head's up your ass. Your great big giant round head is up your ass. Okay? All right? I mean, it's where the money is going. When you look at the slate of shows up there, I see two for sure that are Kennedy. The other ones, there are definitely three that are not. Oh, they suck. Yeah, and it's funny. And there are well, I don't think she's running Kenobi. Yeah, he is, basically. And I'm not going to say who it is. I think you guys know. But yeah, Chris, it's just New Year. It is what it is. Uh, you know, it's really disappointing. But I do think it's jealousy because no one is telling this person anything, and they shouldn't have to. You can't expect people with contacts that have worked in Hollywood, that have worked with side by side with Lucasfilm, to either want to share contacts or those contacts reaching out to you if you're someone they don't know to tell you about what's going on. Or you can't. You can't. And I'm not jealous. I love this stuff. I mean, it confirms a lot of what I felt like when I watched the announcement and the investors meeting in December. It confirmed a lot of what I thought was happening. Kennedy, of course, did the announcement, but you could see she wasn't happy. I mean, she practically spat out Hayden Christensen's name. Yeah, Tauntaun, I think they have, and I think that's true. I think you're right. I mean, she, but the idea that nothing's going on is bullshit. I mean, look at the way Pablo Hidalgo reacted to Star Wars theory. But no, there's no civil war. Come on. Come on. You know, come here and tell me where I'm wrong. All right? Come here and tell me where I'm wrong. Those guys have all the budget, they have all the money. Disney's putting everything into Favreau, Filoni, and Feige and Taika Waititi. And they're probably putting money into the Kenobi series too, which I'm sorry to say, but I think probably Filoni and Favreau are kind of following that along too. Okay? They might not be listed as the showrunners, but I don't think Disney. I mean, Deborah Chow, the director, she is quoted as saying, "I am not a female director. I want to be known as a good director." Does that sound woke to you? Does it? Does it? No, it doesn't. Sounds like someone I could actually work with and not want to strangle. All right. You know, Kennedy is there, I think, strictly to do Indy 5, and then she's gone. I don't know why she has to be there to do Indy 5. I mean, she could be the producer and not run Lucasfilm. She didn't run the productions, or she was a producer and didn't run the studio when they were making the first four, did she? Think about it. Why does she need to be there? It's for appearances, and it's mostly for her self-esteem. Probably that she's there. It's for her so she doesn't. She threatened to burn the place down on the way out the door. But one thing, and then we'll let you guys go. I want to tell you guys. Twitter is fake. Twitter isn't real. So when you see hashtags, fire Gina Carano, be like John Favreau and go, it's Twitter, who cares? Really, who cares? Right? Those people on Twitter, they're not very many of them. They're just very loud. Okay? It's not like there are 100 million people sending petitions to Disney to fire her. It's a bunch of Twitter trolls that migrated from Tumblr to shit on other people. Okay? So, anyway, my voice is giving out. I've got stuff to do today. So, I will see you all around the galaxy. Have a great day, you guys. And something else comes up. I do know they took an impeachment vote today or whatever. You know, the only reason why they're trying to impeach the president is so he can't run again. They're terrified of Donald Trump. Well, I know, Ton.